Have you ever really stopped to think about how all the stuff you own actually got to you? Your phone, the clothes you're wearing, even the coffee you drank this morning. Chances are it traveled across a massive ocean on an even more massive ship. Maritime trade, it's kind of the silent engine of our entire global economy. And we're about to see how that engine is getting a complete 21st century overhaul. Get this. A staggering 90% of all international trade happens by sea. Right now, as you're listening to this, there are almost 40,000 cargo ships crisscrossing the globe. I mean, that just completely dwarfs the few thousand airplanes that are in the sky at any given time. It's just a whole different scale. For decades, the name of the game in shipping was simple. Get bigger. Build a bigger ship, carry more stuff, make more money. But, well, we've kind of hit a wall. If these ships get any larger, they literally won't fit through crucial choke points like the Suez or Panama Canals. So if you can't build bigger, what's next? The whole competition has shifted from sheer size to something way more important, efficiency, and a much, much smaller environmental footprint.
So today, we're going to follow the incredible journey of one of the most ambitious shipbuilding projects ever. We'll start with the absolutely insane challenge they set for themselves. Then we'll try to wrap our heads around the blueprint's true scale. We'll see how they built this thing in pieces, explore its innovative heart, watch it all come together, and finally, celebrate the finished masterpiece.
Okay, so our story kicks off with a French shipping company, CMA-CGM. They came up with a goal that a lot of people in the industry thought was, let's be honest, completely impossible. They wanted to totally redefine what a container ship could even be. So this wasn't just about building another giant ship. No, they were facing this monumental double challenge. First, make them the cleanest ships on the planet by powering them with liquefied natural gas, or LNG. And second, they had to build 9 of them in just 2 years. Now, in that time frame, you'd normally be lucky to finish just 1. It was a race against the clock on an epic scale. To really get what a huge undertaking this was, we've got to understand the mind-boggling scale of what they were actually building. So get ready to have your sense of what's big completely recalibrated. Each one of these ships is 400 meters long. I want you to picture this. That's like laying 4 football fields end to end. It's basically a skyscraper, just tipped over on its side and floating in the ocean. And what about the weight? Well, even when it's totally empty, the ship is 70,000 tons of pure steel. That's the same weight as 7 Eiffel Towers. Or, if you'd prefer, 11,500 fully grown African elephants. Let that sink in. And when it's fully loaded, it can carry over 23,000 standard shipping containers. If you were to take all those containers and line them up, just one after the other, that line would stretch for 150 kilometers. That's an entire city's worth of goods on a single ship. So how in the world do you build 9 of these monsters in just 2 years? You obviously can't build them one after the other. The answer is just brilliant. It's a manufacturing strategy called modular construction. The idea is you don't build a ship, you assemble one from giant pre-built pieces. Here's how that works. First, you cut thousands of steel plates. These are then welded together into these massive sections called megablocks. Now here's the clever part. All the piping, the wiring, all the fiddly bits get installed in these blocks before they're even joined together. Finally, these pieces, which are the size of city blocks, are welded together to form the ship's hull. Now, to cut all that steel with the speed and precision they needed, they used a super specialized laser. And this was not just any laser. It operated at 18,000 degrees Celsius. That is 3 times hotter than the surface of the sun. It just sliced through that thick steel like it was nothing. Once all those megablocks are in place, they have to be welded together. And the sheer amount of welding on just one of these ships it's just hard to comprehend. We are talking about a total length of 1,250 kilometers of weld. To put that into perspective for you, that's about the distance from Karachi all the way to Lahore. And every single inch of that weld has to be perfect. Because when you're out in the middle of the open ocean, the relentless waves forgive absolutely no weakness. So, building the massive hull was only half the battle, right? The other part of the mission was to make this ship clean. So now, let's explore the giant's heart, the incredible technology that not only powers this behemoth, but also makes it a true pioneer in sustainable shipping. This right here is why they bet so big on LNG. I mean, look at these numbers.
Compared to the traditional dirty fuel oil most ships use, LNG is a massive environmental win. It cuts sulfur emissions by 99%, tiny air pollution particles by 91%, and carbon dioxide by a very significant 20%. This is a huge, huge step towards cleaner oceans. But, of course, there's a catch. There's always a catch. To keep natural gas in its liquid form, you have to store it at an unbelievably cold temperature, minus 61 degrees Celsius. If it warms up even a little, it turns back into a gas, expands, and, well, that's game over. So the billion-dollar question is, how do you keep a fuel tank the size of 6 Olympic swimming pools that cold in the middle of a hot engine room? The solution is just a masterpiece of engineering. They basically built the world's largest, most sophisticated thermos. It's a tank within a tank with layers of super advanced insulation to hold that extreme cold temperature steady. Now, after 9 months of building this incredibly high-tech tank, the final test for leaks was surprisingly simple. Workers literally just applied soapy water to all the joints, placed a little glass container over them, and created a vacuum. If any bubbles appeared, bingo, they knew they had a microscopic leak to fix. It's a low-tech solution to a very high-tech problem, and it was simple but incredibly effective. All right, so with the massive hull assembled and that revolutionary fuel tank locked in place, it was time for all the final components to come together. This is the part where the ship really takes on its identity as a true titan of the seas. The numbers here are they're staggering. The engine alone is as tall as a 6-story building and weighs 2,000 tons. The propeller? It's cast in a single solid piece and weighs 92 tons. Even a single link in the massive anchor chain weighs 300 kilograms. And to protect it all from the harsh sea, it took 1 million liters of special paint to cover an area that is twice the size of Vatican City. After a year and a half of absolutely relentless work, the first ship was finally ready. But the job wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. Now it had to prove itself in the most unforgiving environment on the entire planet, the open ocean. After 15 days of grueling sea trials, testing literally everything from the emergency brakes to the navigation systems, the ship passed with flying colors. The shipyard had won its impossible race against time. But this quote really says it all. The real success here isn't just the mountain of steel. It's the collaboration, the intelligence, and the tireless effort of the 6,000 workers who turned this incredible vision into a reality. Today, these ships are ruling the oceans, proving that we can move mountains of steel across the seas more cleanly and efficiently than ever before. It's an incredible testament to human ingenuity, and it kind of leaves us with one final thought. If we can solve this puzzle, what other impossible things can we do next?